It's the Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome, guys. Oh, my goodness. It's been a minute. It feels like it. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We cover all things counterculture on this channel. Okay, we specialize in premier two-way news that you can use. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you come on in, take a seat, and get comfortable, because we about to talk about it all. Okay, we about to talk about it all. If you don't know who I am, I'm your host, Tanjanika, and I'll be guiding you through this journey on this next hour. And I can't tell you how much I've missed you guys. I promise you. I miss being on air with you guys. I miss talking shit with you guys. I miss giving you guys news. I miss doing all the things. So I'm so excited to be here. You guys, a lot has happened. As always, right? As always. It seems like every time I come on here, more things have transpired, more things have happened in the world, and we got to talk about it. We got to address it, right? Good news, bad news, all the news. Good news, bad news, all the news, okay? So we got some announcements. Let me say, first of all, we're going to talk about a couple things. I'm going to just hype you up. I'm going to get you ready for what we're about to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about Japan. Japan is going through some things right now. They just had an assassination. We're going to have to discuss that because Japan has the strictest gun laws in the world, Craig, in the world. Okay, so we're going to have to talk about that. And you guys, I got pulled over with my gun on me. You want to know how that happened and what went down and what transpired? I'm going to tell you all about that on this hour. And then we're also going to talk about some events, some things that I got going on that I can't wait for you guys to be a part of. Shout out to all the sponsors who sponsored today's episode. And so we're going to talk about them and we're going to shout them out as well. But guys, we're going to dive right into it. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about it right now. We're going to get started because I don't want to waste your time. You know, I value your time. So let's discuss it. Let's jump right on in. Let's start with Japan. Japan. I'm not the type of person, right, that like harps on tragedy. I'm not one of those people that like wants to get clickbait for tragedies. I'm not that type of person. But what I will do is I will analyze the situation. And if it's relevant to my expertise, if it's relevant to my niche, if it's relevant to my thought process, or if I have a strong opinion about it, then I will address it and I will talk about it. So because I'm a certified firearms instructor, certified Glock armor, and Marine Corps veteran that did 2 tours in Iraq, big up me, okay? Because I am all those things, this fits directly into my wheelhouse because we need to talk about, you know, gun laws over there compared to gun laws in the United States. And I want to give you guys a correlation of how significant this assassination was, okay? So let's talk about it. So on Friday recently, there was an assassination. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He was shot and killed during a live press conference where he was supporting the Liberal Democratic Party. Now, he had already retired from office, but he decided he's been very vocal. He's been very in the spotlight ever since his retirement. Even though he's retired, he's still been in the spotlight because he has a lot of opinions and views about the Democratic Party over there. So he was out there doing a speech in support for the Liberal Democratic Party. And on the video, you can see this assassination happened in real time because it was live. It was a live event. And so you hear one gunshot and you see people look around. Even the Secret Service, it feels like they weren't even prepared. Like, was that a gunshot? And it was one of those situations where you're like, okay, is this happening right now? Is this really transpiring? Instead of reacting because you do know what is happening and you do know what's transpiring. They didn't know. Everyone is looking around. You see a cloud of smoke and then you hear the second gunshot. Prime Minister Abe goes down and you see blood on his shirt. You see it stained in red. And he went into cardiac arrest right there on the scene. And so he later dies en route to the hospital. He didn't even make it to the hospital. So this guy that did it, I'm not going to say his name. He's a 40-something-year-old gentleman who had a real issue with someone else that Prime Minister Abe was representing, another group that he was representing. He had a problem with them. So he just basically died by association. That's basically what just happened. And so the gentleman, let's talk about the gentleman because this is interesting. You know, I'm always like giving you information and talking to you guys about things like this. The gentleman that committed the assassination did it with a homemade firearm, a homemade gun. I'm talking about like pipes. I'm talking about duct tape. I'm talking about not that it wasn't a ghost gun. This was not something that was manufactured part. This was shit you got out of legit Home Depot, Lowe's. He manufactured that shit together and created a homemade gun and assassinated the former prime minister of this country with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is unheard of because Japan has some of the strictest gun laws in the world, and they have some of the lowest gun crime rates in the world as well. To put that in perspective, to give you an actual number, in 2020, they only had one homicide. One. They had 10 gun-related issues altogether, and those were mainly gang-related. So 9 of them were gang-related. Only one resulted in a homicide, a death, right? Ruled by homicide. So with that being said, when you look at the video, it looks like they don't train for situations like this because it just doesn't happen. And so you see everyone look around like, what was that noise? Whole time it was a gunshot. And then he was able to get a second shot off. And I feel like because the United States trains for things like this, Secret Service, you say what you want about them, but that first shot got off, everybody would have been pouncing. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts, he would not have been able to get that second shot off. That's just my professional opinion. Go with whatever you want. But it's just very interesting to see that perspective. And so I want to tell you guys about the process because I think that's important and relevant to this as well. The process of getting your firearm in Japan. Because they have such strict gun laws, in order to get a gun permit, a concealed carry permit, they don't even have concealed carry permits. They have gun licenses, and you can only get, as a civilian, an air rifle or a shotgun over there. You can only get an air gun or a shotgun. Police are the only ones authorized to buy ammo and to buy guns over there, are the only ones licensed to have firearms. Okay? And then civilians must buy their guns from an actual gun shop. And again, they can only buy an air gun or they can only buy a shotgun. It's very, very interesting, right? And so let me tell you the process of getting your firearms license over there. It takes a minimum of 1 year to complete the process. Let's start with that. 1 year. 1 year. You have to have an interview with the police, you and your spouse. The police have to interview your spouse, your husband, your wife. They have to say that you're nonviolent. You've never had a history of criminality. You've never been in a situation where you've caused harm, that type of thing. There's mandatory training. You have to get training, physical training with the firearm in order to get your license. You have to pass a written exam. You have to pass a physical by a doctor. You have to pass a physical. You have to have a mental health evaluation. After all of that, the police can still deny you, even if you pass all of that stuff. And even if your friends and family, your friends and family have to be interviewed by the police as well in order to see if you qualify for a firearms license. I just be looking at like the countries and I'm like, oh wow, like, oh wow, like, oh wow, oh wow. And the process is so strict and strenuous that like, a lot of people don't even have them. And that makes sense, right? It makes sense because it's still may issue. It's not even like you pass all of this stuff, you do all of these things, and it's a shall issue type of situation where as long as you pass all of this, they're going to give it to you regardless. No, this is a situation where you still might get denied if you pass all of these criteria. That's wild to me. That is a level, it's so wild to me. So let's move on because I want to talk to you about New York and how this is relevant to them. Because New York, in response to the Constitution striking down their 100-year law, right? And just to refresh your memory, not to insult your intelligence, just in case you don't know, the Supreme Court justice struck down New York's concealed carry weapons law because in their concealed weapons law, you had to find a reason, a just cause for you getting your concealed carry. But the Constitution says that we have the right to bear arms. It doesn't say unless. It doesn't have any caveats in it. So the Supreme Court justice, whose sole job is to uphold the whole job is to uphold the Constitution, they said that you are not allowed to have these extra parameters in place. That's not going with the Constitution and giving people in New York the right to bear arms. So they struck their laws down. Well, New York was so upset about that. Because again, it was been on the books for 100 years and it's Democrat-led state. And so the Democrats were up in arms, the governor, the mayor, everyone was super upset about what happened. And as a devil's advocate, I kind of see where they're coming from, because they were coming off of a violent situation that happened in Buffalo, New York, where 10 people were racially profiled and murdered for absolutely no reason at all. That actually happened. So they decided that they were going to come up immediately with rules and regulations in place to counter what the Supreme Court came up with. So they came up immediately with sensitive areas that you cannot carry your firearm in. And those sensitive areas were immediately mass transit and subways. Whole time, this is like the number one place that crime happens in New York. But okay, whatever. Like, okay. Times Square is 100% off limits. You can't be in Times Square with your firearm. And then also, you can't be in restaurants or bars with your firearm either, unless they specifically tell you that you can't be in there with it, or unless they specifically give you permission to be in there with it. It also requires a background check to purchase ammo. I thought that was so egregious and ridiculous. And it also requires that you go back 3 years on your social media account in order to see if you have anything on there that they would view as dangerous, right? Or they would view as a reason to deny you for your concealed weapons permit, okay? And you have to do a live interview with someone in order for them to interview you and see if you are competent as well. So they quickly came up with these rules. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so a reporter asked Governor Hochul at a press conference, she asked her, she said, do you have, supporting evidence that says that law-abiding citizens are the ones that are committing these crimes? Do you have numbers or data to support that, concealed carry holders are the ones that are committing these crimes? Do you know what Governor Hochul said? And I want to put this in perspective for you, because this is how they're treating you guys. This is how they're saying that, it doesn't matter what you think or what the rules are or what the Supreme Court justice rules. She said that she doesn't need data. She doesn't have to prove, that concealed carry holders are the ones that are doing this. She doesn't have to have the numbers. She literally said this during the press conference. It's like, this is what I believe. This is what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter what the statistics and data shows, but this is how I'm going to choose to run this state. Okay, well, I have numbers. I have data. Can I give you some numbers? Can I talk about it? Because if she won't, I will. So let's discuss it, right? In New York, there's about 200,000 concealed carry permit holders. They've done all the background checks. They've met all the requirements that the state asked them to meet. And that's not a lot, considering that there are millions of people in the state of New York. But okay, 200,000 of them have their concealed carry permits, right? Concealed carry holders, there was a study, a 15-year study, and the study revealed that concealed carry holders are some of the most law-abiding citizens in America. I'm not guessing about this. I actually, I be reading. Your girl be reading. Don't play me with a book, okay, and some words. I got you on that. 15-year study. They are some of the most law-abiding citizens, and they only account for 0.7% of firearm-related homicides during that entire period. 0.7%. 15 years, 0.7%. And I wanted it to break down even further what those homicides were. Was it self-defense? Was it suicide? What were those numbers consisting of? But they didn't go into that in that study. There was a second study, because your girl be finding the studies. Don't be trying to hide a study from me, because I'll find it, okay? There was a second study, Violence Policy Center. They did a study, and it said that 39 firearm incidents happened involving concealed carry holders between 2007 and 2022. 39, 39. Do you hear me? In the years 2007 to 2022. That's less than 2.5 per year in the entire country. 2.5 in the entire country. These studies reveal that statistically, states with low gun ownership and more restrictive gun laws have more firearm murders per 100,000 residents. They have more murders than anyone else. And you know what number New York is? When it ranks in violence, do you know what number New York is? It's number 5. It's number 5 on the list. Number 5. It has some of the highest gun rates and murder rates in the country. And they got the nerve to want to counter what the Supreme Court justice has ruled as unconstitutional and come up with further restrictions, not allowing their citizens to protect themselves and save their lives. What sense do that make? Democrat-led. All of these states that are mostly Democrat-led with the strictest gun laws have the highest gun rates in the country. This is not a coincidence. You remember in the Wild Wild West? Do you remember? It was very low murder rates. You know why? Because everybody had a gun. Everybody did. A gun society is a polite society for a reason. I say all that to say, these are the type of people that you absolutely need to vote out, okay? You absolutely need to vote these people out because it don't make no sense for you guys to continue to be put in these situations and not being allowed to protect yourselves. The people that are getting these guns are criminals. They are not abiding by the law. So to create more laws for them to not abide by don't make no goddamn sense. Okay? And that's it and that's all. Okay? So I truly don't understand. California, let's keep going. We're going to keep going. Let's keep going. I want to talk about California because they have equally egregious laws, and they are coming up with equally egregious legislation to restrict your gun rights, even though the Supreme Court justice says that the things that they're doing are wrong. And I want to challenge everyone to pay attention to these things because, again, these are the people that you need to vote out. And these are the people that you do not need to support when it comes time for re-election. You don't need to support their campaign. These are the people and you literally need to stop visiting these states as well because realistically, you can't feel safe there and go there because you can't legally arm yourself. And if the police take 3 to 15 to an hour long to get to you, by the time you be done bled out, they got away with your stuff, you'll never get it back. It's only a police report that they're getting from you. It just don't make no sense. So I say all that to say, protect yourselves. Okay, so California, let's move on because New York is, but we always talk about how egregious New York is. California equally is egregious. Do you know as soon as the Supreme Court justice struck down the New York law, everyone was watching it because it affected the entire country. So goes the Supreme Court, legit goes the entire country, right? We normally say that for California, but that really matters with the Supreme Court. So seven or 9, I think it was 9 other states had to look at their laws because their laws were similar to New York. So if it was struck down in New York, it strikes it down for the rest of the country. California was one of those other states that you had to look at. Maryland was another state. And I'll tell you the difference between the two. California, they done came up with a 2022 firearms dashboard portal. That's what they call it. A 2022 firearms dashboard portal. It's a website that you had to go to in order to find out information, right? The Department of Justice in California released it. Do you know once they released it, there was a breach in data? So they released thousands of gun owners' personal information. I'm talking about their names, their addresses, the license types, the concealed carry permit holders' numbers and other personal information that thieves, robbers, identity theft, hackers, everyone can now access said information. You're off to a great start, California. How do you feel about yourself? Amazing job. Big up yourself. Because what? If you don't think this was not done on purpose and maliciously, you're crazy. I truly believe someone did this to prove a point because they're upset, right? They're upset. Whole time, law-abiding gun owners are not the ones committing the crime. So what you mad at us for? Why are you upset at us? Why wouldn't you redirect this energy to actually finding out who the criminals are, actually keeping them locked up, or actually doing programs to prevent recidivism? Why aren't you doing things like that? No, it's attack gun owners, create more gun restriction, create more laws, create more division, create more, a society that's not safe. So they can lean more on you and have to depend more on you. And you ain't doing the things that you said you're supposed to do anyway. Make it make sense. Make it make the hell sense. So you know what? The president of California Rifle and Pistol Association has already threatened to sue. So I think they should. I absolutely think that they need to go out there and sue these people who are creating barriers for law-abiding citizens. I truly, truly believe that. So, you know what? I just think that it's very interesting, the things that are going on right now, and I want you guys to pay attention. I really, really do. And I'm going to continue to keep you guys informed because shit is wild out here. It's not just happening in the United States. It's happening all over the globe. And the more restrictive you are, it just goes to show you cannot prevent psychos from doing psychotic behavior, but what you can do is be a counter to that shit and be like, listen, you show up crazy, you gonna leave in a body bag. You won't show up nowhere else, goddammit. That's what the hell's gonna happen. You can bring that shit over here if you want to. Did y'all see Walker? Walker went on live the other day. He said he couldn't believe how many people was at Walmart strapped. You goddamn right. You ain't gonna get me in the frozen food aisle. It's what the hell you ain't gonna do. And I bet you we band together, all a gang of us who all got weapons. Where it's coming from? Where it's coming from? You ain't gonna get all of us. I'm sick of it. We're sick of it. We're tired of it. And we see that you're not gonna be there to help us. We see that time and time again. And you're gonna let these people walk out. Now, do you know that dude in Japan? He ended up walking away. They didn't caught him. He done made a homemade bomb and he didn't get killed. So you letting these people just live. You letting these people, eat free, sleep free on taxpayers' dollars. For what? For what? Okay? Run up in the wrong place in wherever in these constitutional states doing some shit like that. That's all I got to say. Okay? So listen. Wasn't that a great start? Wasn't that a great start to the show? Let me tell you something. What I'm going to do is give you some two-way news that you going to use, okay? That's what I'm going to do. So let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break real quick, and we're going to come right back on Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9.
Question: what's the only station where you can get R&B, hip-hop, pop, and talk radio? Time's up.
Power 108.9, a station for the people. Keep up with Power 108.9 on social media.
How can I find you?
Instagram
@Power 108.9
and Facebook.
@Power 108.9.
It's the exact same thing. It's @Power 108.9.
Okay.
Power 108.9, a station for the people.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the number one favorite station at ATL, Power 108.9.
It's estimated that around 100,000 enslaved people escaped the North via the Underground Railroad from 1810 to 1850.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
100,000.
Harriet Tubman was working.
What?
That's why she looked like that in all them pictures.
My good. In 2012 at the London Olympics, Gabby Douglas became the first black gymnast.
She was tired.
Power 108.9, a station for the people.
This is Elam B. King, and you're listening to Power 108.9.
And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I'm so excited that you're here. You guys, I love you guys more than you know. You have absolutely no idea. I'm like so excited when I get to come up here and talk to you about what's going on in these streets. So let me tell you, first the hell of all, shout out to the sponsors of the show. Okay, shout out to the sponsors of the show because they make it happen. They're the ones. Okay, they're the ones. So let me tell you, first of all, we got a couple things going on. And I'll start with July 16th. Our sponsor of the day is Perfectus Group. Shout out to them, Ken of Perfectus Group, and all of his team members down there. They're doing a phenomenal job over there. They're the trainers that train the trainers. I promise you, they're my trainers as well. So they're having a Perfectus Range Day, July 16th. It's at Range Guns and Safes, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia. And what you're going to be doing is shooting the new 30 Super Carry. The 30 Super Carry is a new ammo that's just come out. You got to get a firearm that is specific for the 30 Super Carry firearm, but it's like the power of a 9mm apparently, but it has less recoil. So this is going to be a game changer especially for women who want to go out and shoot, but they don't like that 9mm. They don't like the feel of it, or they don't like the recoil of it. Well, this is a little less than that. It's almost similar to a 380, and I think this is going to be a game changer. Ken thinks it's going to be a game changer. Perfectus Group thinks it's going to be a game changer. So I want to invite you guys out to come July 16th to the Range Day. I'm going to be there. We're going to be doing some filming. We're going to, test out this new ammo and this new product so that we can know how it's going to go. And I'm really excited about this because new ammo, you can still invent things in this industry. Okay, the firearm industry still needs reinvention. It still needs innovation. It still needs new ideas and fresh ideas. So don't let the fact that it's oversaturated or that it's like monopolized in certain areas, don't let that be a deterrent for you getting in, either investing in some type of way or creating something that they need in this industry, because they are coming up with new ideas every single day. And remember that Black women are the fastest growing group of firearms owners. So make sure that we have things that appeal to us as well, women in general, but Black women especially. Make sure that you have things for women. So holsters, gun designs, gun styles, hand grips, all of those things can be reinvented for new consumers, okay? And the way that we carry and all of that stuff. So again, this is July 16th, Perfectus Range Day. I'm super excited to try this new firearm. They're going to have all the firearms. They're going to have ammo, ears, eyes, protections, everything that you need. So come out. And it is from 10 to 12 noon, okay? So it's only 2 hours, but Range Guns and Safes off of Pleasantdale Road, okay? So super excited about that. So that's the first thing. Shout out to Perfectus Group, and thank you. And if you want to sponsor Chocolate Tangerine, please make sure you go to tacticaltangerine.com for information and just click on shop. It'll tell you, it'll have all the information there. And you too can be a sponsor. You get quality auto. You get quality audio. You get my beautiful face, and I get to describe your awesome event, or I get to describe your company to my audience. So the next thing that we got going on is July 24th. I'm super excited about this. I'm booked and busy, y'all. I am booked the hell and busy. Do you hear me? We got on July 23rd, I've partnered with Atlanta Black Chamber again. Shout out to them. I've partnered with them and also some other instructors. We're going to be teaching Sister Self-Protection Seminar that day. We're going to be doing a Sister Self-Protection Seminar July 23rd. And what that's going to do is teach you hand-to-hand self-defense class. So we're going to have Kalfani Ubuku. He's a retired Atlanta police officer, I think Atlanta police chief actually, and he's going to be teaching hand-to-hand combat. And I love that because there are a lot of people who don't like to carry firearms. So he's going to be teaching how to, stay active, stay in the fight in case you don't have a firearm on you. You still need to make sure you have stamina, endurance, all those things. So he's going to teach you that, and he's going to teach you some techniques because he's a Black belt too. Like, he is the man in them streets. Also, we're going to do beginner's firearm orientation. That's me. That's where I come in. I'm going to be teaching you grip, stand, sight alignment, sight picture. We're not going to be doing actual firing that day, but I'm going to teach you load and unload basics that people still don't know. People do not know these things. So I'm going to be teaching that day. And I'm so excited about this because I want to teach you how to not even get in that situation in the first place. So we're going to be talking about situational awareness, all of those good things. So make sure you come for that. And then we're also going to do Fit to Fight workout session. So all of this is happening in the same day, and we're going to have a retired Marine. He's going to be a Marine. All of us are military, prior military. So it's veterans teaching you this information so you can absolutely trust the information that you're getting. But he's going to be teaching about endurance, and he's going to work you out, and we're going to be doing some things with firearms that day. So I'm super, super, super excited. Again, that is going to be July 23rd, and you guys need to come out for this. I wouldn't even waste your time. I wouldn't do that. This is going to be something that you cannot afford to miss, because there are a lot of things that are happening. Crime is going up in every major city. Okay, so it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And again, I'm going to be teaching beginners firearm. We're going to be doing hand-to-hand self-defense class and a Fit to Fight workout session. And it's going to be $50 online or $60 at the door. So if you're interested, go to Eventbrite Sisters Self-Protection. Type that in the search box. It's going to go right there. You'll see my beautiful, lovely face up there. So make sure you click and get the tickets, okay? And then, dun, to round it on home, July. Let's go, July, with all your weekends. You know we got to do something every weekend. You know we do. It's 5 weekends in July. Well, who ain't going to be in these streets all weekends long? So on July 30th, we moved it, guys. We're having a concealed. We're having a Casino Royale adult prom. I can't even play with you. My armpits are sweating. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I cannot play with y'all. Y'all, this is about to be epic. The energy that I'm putting into this is going to be gooder. Do you hear me? Gooder than anything I've ever done before in my life. Okay. I promise you. So this is going to be food, fun, fashion, and firearms. It's going to be at a digital firearms range. If you have not been to Insight Virtual Ballistics, let me tell you, pull up a chair, sis. Pull up a chair, bruh. Okay? I am so excited to partner with them on this amazing event. It is not only veteran and Black woman owned, but it is, think of Top Golf, but for firearms, right? So you go in there, it's digital screens everywhere. And you get to go in there, and I'm one of the digital firearms instructors along with Quincy. Shout out to Q. He's also a dope instructor there. And so we go in and we're teaching. We have clients that come in. We teach them grip. We teach them stance. We teach them sight alignment, sight picture. We do everything we do on a live range. But this is a digital simulation range. So you don't waste ammo. You don't have the loud noises from a live range. You're not in unsafe environments because you don't know who's to the left and the right of you, how much training they've had. You don't know any of those things. You're able to come in a safe, fun environment and learn and train and get that training by qualified instructors. Quincy has a whole degree in this, in firearm technician, okay? So you get to learn from qualified instructors who can teach you the things that you need to know anyway in a safe, fun environment. So yesterday I had some clients come in. They brought their son in, and he was 12. When I tell you he's a shooter, he's a shooter. I'm so happy to partner up with them. So July 30th, we're going to have a Casino Royale adult prom. And when I say you better come in, like there is going to be a prom king and queen. We're going to have a shooting competition. We're going to have food. It's a sip and shoot. It's a full bar, so you can come in and you can drink in your finest attire. I'm talking about it's AC in there, so you ain't going to be hot and sweating. Okay. We have the dopest caterer. Shout out to Desi's Cuisine. She's going to be cooking. And then we have some dope sponsors. I want to talk about the sponsors right quick, because I promise you, they're the ones that make the teamwork, make the dream go. And I promise you, they're the ones that are providing some of the dopest gifts that we're going to be auctioning off. So we have a golf company, Swing Pros Atlanta. Swing Pros Atlanta is a premier indoor golf instruction facility. They have 4.9 star reviews across all platforms, 6,000 square feet of instruction and practice space, 3 dedicated practice bays, 2 private and semi-private instruction bays, and 1,000-foot putting green, okay? All full swing practice bays are powered by Flight Scope Mevo Plus to provide feedback and data, right? Helping you with your goals and helping you understand your swing. They have been in business for over 8 years. They provide thousands of hours of high quality instruction to golfers on all skill levels. Okay. They have 2 uniquely skilled instructors that are going to be talking to you about your growth plan and what you want to achieve in your golf lessons. And it's going to be amazing. So they provided a certificate, and they're going to, what they're offering is, they have a certificate, and it's going to be 1 45-minute swing analysis and 1 30-minute reinforcement lesson. And that is, when I tell you, people pay hundreds of dollars for one of those alone. Okay. So both of those, this is like $1,000 package. I'm super excited about this. This voucher is going to be raffled off there. So that's one of our sponsors. So shout out to Swing Pros Atlanta. And then again, going back to the venue, Insight, is going to be July 30th. At Insight, and it's going to be a Casino Royale adult prom. We're providing the food, we're providing the fashion, we're providing the fun. You come in just dressed to the nines. All you got to do is show up. We have a premium bar. Okay, so we have booths for sale. We still have sponsorship, and we also have tickets for sale. So if you go to the link in my Instagram bio, you can go right there to it. If you go to my YouTube, it'll be there. And if you go to tacticaltangerine.com, you can go get the tickets there. When I tell you, I can't even wait for you guys to see what we have in store for you guys. It's going to be incredible. And my DJ is insane. So it's about to be a party. And the tagline is relive one of your best memories or redo it if it wasn't. Okay. So listen, if you had a dope ass prom, come do it again. And if you didn't, come do it over. Okay. I love you guys so freaking much. And I can't wait to provide this for you guys, because at the end of the day, I believe in edutainment. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is still we're going to give you the fundamentals. This is going to be a taste of what you can get. And then you're going to be able to come back and get proper instruction by certified firearms instructors. So again, July 30th, Casino Royale adult prom. Do not fucking miss it. I promise you. Okay. So let me tell you. Okay. So what else we got going on? Oh, all right. So we're going to round out with this, right? We're going to round out with this because I want to tell you guys about this. It's very interesting what's happening in the United States. There's a lot of shootings that are transpiring. And in very interesting places. They're soft target places, and it is what it is. And so I'm paying attention to them, and I'm watching them. And recently on July 4th, there was a shooting at a parade in Chicago, and it was in Highland Park. Let's be very specific about where it was. Okay, it was in Highland Park. And so what was interesting about this, I read an article, and this is the name of the article. I swear to God, I'm not paraphrasing. This is the title of the article. Before shooting, Highland Park was considered Chicago's Mayberry. New York Times. New York Times wrote that. I'm not going to get into the specifics, right? It doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. What matters is this. The direct comparison between the way they treat, and when I say they, I mean the media, the country, everyone. The direct response to Highland Park compared to Chicago, which is right down the street, all of it is in Illinois, speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. The tension is palpable, okay? I'm not even joking. Mayberry? So can you imagine how they're treating Mayberry? They don't understand. They said this was one of the whitest cities in Illinois. So they can't fathom how the fuck this happened to them. They are insulted. They feel away. The dude who did it, they have all types of explanations as to why he did this, right? But what's very interesting is he was a rapper, apparently, right? He was a rapper. And these people are not necessarily, they're unhappy. Not the Mayberry. Not the Mayberry theme, because this is how they felt. They like, what? Skipping their ass along? Okay, I'm talking about at the parade having a good ass time. Couldn't imagine some shit happened to them, okay? Because they're not at the grocery store. They're not black. They're not none of these things. This don't happen in Mayberry. This don't happen in Highland Park. So we don't even have these issues. And so when it did, they're shocked, okay? And so we start to dive into who the shooter was. His ass is alive too. Makes no sense, but okay. We start talking about who the shooter was and talking about how, he was a part of these communities online, right? There's always an excuse. There's always a reason. There's always something. They can always justify it. This is what happened. They can always go back to the root, right? And they can check all of these people's social medias out. The last 3 of them, they could check their social medias out and find that they were unhinged, right? They were the fucked up. And so no one did anything. No one red flagged them. No one thought to mention, hey, Buddy over here is kind of obsessed with mass shooters. Buddy over here be talking crazy in his raps. Buddy over here's video is depicting dead people in mass shootings. But okay, everyone missed it. Fine. He had complexion protection, so it's fine. Everyone missed it. Okay, well, the suspect was part of reality communities. They're not necessarily video game communities, but these are communities that think that things should change, that they're not living part of reality. Like, and reality can just go away, basically. Let's live in this simulated world, basically. So they can't tell the difference between story and fiction and reality. Make it make sense, but okay, because if you pinch their ass, they know what the fuck reality is. That shit hurt, right? You gonna feel it in real time. You ain't gonna feel it in goddamn metaverse. But okay, whatever. I ain't even gonna play with y'all. I'm not even about to play with y'all, but okay. And so, they're saying that it's very complicated to catch these people. It's complicated. These are the words that they're using in these articles because they're not necessarily looking for racists. Although the Buffalo was, they put it in this article, although Buffalo was racist, they can't necessarily lump these people in with like racism because that's not what this is. They have different ideologies. They have different thought processes. They do things in a different way. So this guy, he had, he went by Awake. That was the name of him on Spotify and on SoundCloud, whatever. But he went from hip hop to one of his songs being completely incoherent. You can't even, there's no words, there's no nothing. Like y'all don't find that suspicious. Y'all don't find that suspicious. Like, come on, Umar. Bring up Dr. Umar right now. Because what? Okay. In one of his videos, he had on tactical gear, and he had a drawing of a mass shooting in one of the videos. And he had a bleeding cartoon victim. I mean, at this point, pull him in and talk to him or something. You ain't gonna question him. You ain't gonna send him an email and be like, don't do this, something, anything. But okay, so that happened. And then from there, what people are trying to do now is educate the tech platforms. They're trying to sit down with Twitter and sit down with Facebook and be like, these are the signs that you should look for, and these are the things that you should probably shut down if you start to see these signs. But the problem is, they say that it can take some time to find these people. Really? Not you got Young Thug and all his friends locked up on RICO charges. It didn't take you far. That wasn't hard to find at all, was it? And I'm not justifying nothing, nowhere. I'm just saying, how is it hard to find these individuals? But every day you locking up someone of black or brown complexion. Make that make sense. Okay? So they're trying to get people to understand what to look for. If they're obsessed with if they're obsessed with Columbine, or if they're obsessed with other mass shooters, or if they're always angry, because they're calling this angry violence, or angry style violence. It's not white supremacist violence. This type of violence differentiates from that. So they're trying to educate friends and family on what to look for. So I'm just like, you know what? God bless you, okay? Because while you showing me what the fuck to look for, I'm going to look at your hands. I'm going to look at your outfit. I'm going to look at your eyes. I'm going to look at everything you got going on. And if I even smell some shit on you, I'm watching you like a hawk. You better not move fast. You better not move fast around me. And I'm not playing with and this is the thing. While you sit up here trying to do all of these things, these people are still plotting. They're still walking up in these places, these gun-restricted places, in these low gun ownership areas, and they're still committing these egregious crimes. All while you trying to tell us what to look for. Instead of being proactive, you're being reactive. What the hell is wrong with you? So, okay, do what you want. All I'm saying is this is not going to be helpful, okay? This is not going to be helpful. And these guys look the fuck thrown off. Have you seen the last 3? Mama should have turned them in. Daddy should have turned them in. Sister, wife, girlfriend, everybody should have turned their ass in. They look deranged. They look like they off to a bad start when they wake up. Do you hear me? So they don't need to, they were a menace to society anyway. So all I'm saying is I don't, as a professional, think you should listen to that. You better carry it with you at all times like I do. Just in case. Because you mind your business. You don't bother nobody. You the type, I'm talking to the people that don't bother nobody. But just in goddamn case, I ain't playing with nobody, child. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. So now, you know what? There's so many things that are going on. Even back to New York. New York pioneered the first in the nation gun industry liability law where victims can now sue the gun manufacturer, right? They can now sue the gun manufacturer, and it was upheld in the Supreme Court. So they can now, now no one has the right to even challenge it. And so 2 other states did it, Delaware, New Jersey, they followed suit. California has something else in the works where you can now sue the gun manufacturers. And the gun industry was trying to, prevent it from even going through, but they couldn't, and their arguments were rejected by a federal judge. So now they hired former U.S. Solicitor General Paul Clement to speak on their behalf and to appeal on their behalf in the state of New York. But I just feel like it's so interesting because the subway train was the catalyst for this. There was a shooting in the subway train, and it happened by a Glock gun, right? So they tried to sue the Glock manufacturer, and they were saying that Glock is not doing everything that they can from preventing the weapons from getting in dangerous hands. What the fuck does that mean? What and oh God, let me calm down because you know what? Like I start stuttering because I'm just like, what? The gun does what it's supposed to do. The gun works. It's supposed to fire. It's supposed to fire a bullet. It's supposed to like do damage. It's supposed to prevent whatever it's supposed to do, or is doing what it's supposed to do. However, in malicious hands, how can the Glock manufacturer determine who's malicious and who isn't? How? And then they're gonna get sued for that. Cause like, who the hell are you to tell me I'm malicious and I'm not? Make it make sense. Now go back. I just told you this guy in Japan created a whole goddamn gun out of pipes and duct tape. You gonna outlaw those? Are you gonna make those illegal? Are you gonna do the thing? What's that movie with Jamie Foxx and The Citizen? I forgot the name of it. With Jamie Foxx, where that white dude waited for like years. He was so patient. I feel like it was one of those situations. That nigga was tired in Japan. He was sick of y'all. To build a bomb, I mean, he had bombs and explosives in his house too, but to build a gun, a functioning gun, and then actually use it to assassinate a prime minister, that you just got to have patience. You got to plot that thing out. You got to have the right credentials to be close up to that dude. You got to be in the right place at the right time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what is it? Law-abiding citizen. I feel like it was one of them situations where he just waited and he was patient and he did what he wanted to do. And so what I'm saying is like, you're suing the Glock manufacturer for why? What are they supposed to do? Like, they create guns. That's what their job is. So now you're going to outlaw pipes and duct tape and all the things that it takes to make a homemade gun now? How is that going to affect the construction company? How is that going to affect other companies that depend on these things? Do you understand how you can't stop crazy? You can only meet it where the fuck it is? I recognize crazy. I'm 80% PTSD. Do you hear me? Like, I know crazy when I see it too. I just keep mine in check because no reasonable and prudent adult is out seeking out to hurt others. No one's doing that. It's the people that are unhinged with mental health issues that we're still not addressing. Still not addressing. The dude in Highland Park, 2 years ago was when they said he goes back to his self-isolation and depression. Wasn't that the pandemic? Wasn't that the panorama? Wasn't that then? So that we are not addressing the real issues. So I feel like this country needs to pause and be like, look, okay, everybody bring it in. Let's bring it in. Come on, bring it in. Let's talk about this. Let's get programs in every state for free mental health. Free mental health. Like, let's have counselors, therapists. Let's compensate them accordingly. Because they're the backbone. They're the ones that need to listen to this bullshit. I don't give a damn about your problem. I got my own problems. So these people have to listen to all these people's problems and help walk them off a fucking ledge. They should be compensated accordingly because that's going to make them go crazy. Then we ain't going to have nobody to help nobody. So if everyone does their job, stays in their lane, create the legislation where people can get time off if they're feeling depressed or get mental health so that they can get the things that they need and the resources, then I feel like that would help prevent some of these things. But nope, we're going to go right back to work. We're going to go right back to sports. We're going to go right back to the things like nothing happened. 2 years ago, that man slipped into a depression, and look where we are now. He done shot up the whole parade, ruined the whole day for everybody. And that's what happens. These people be fucked up in the head. They be like, you know what, I'm fucked up. Let's fuck up everyone else's day. Let's go out there and see how much chaos and destruction we can cause in the short amount of time. So how can you stop that? You can't. What you can do is counter it. So all I'm saying is these are the things that are happening in the world right now, and I feel so bad because like I'm still gonna advocate for Pro 2A. I'm still gonna encourage you to go buy as many firearms as possible, buy as much ammo as possible, especially now that you have states making you do background checks just for ammo. I'm encouraging you to move out of those states that you don't feel safe in. I'm encouraging you to do a mass exodus so you can bankrupt their ass, so they can start losing money, so these companies can start pulling out of these states because ain't nobody living there no more, so they ain't making the revenue that they used to make. Starbucks, stop going there because they support anybody that supports this nonsense. UPS, fuck them. Stop supporting these people that infringe on your 2A rights. They're not going to understand until you hit their pockets. Point blank, period, hard stop. They don't care about you writing a 30-page memo with all the characters on Twitter. They don't care. They don't care about your Instagram post. But I guarantee you, if you stop using UPS, if you stop using ground transportation, if you stop and you do this every week, right? You used to go to them every week to send off your hair bundles, or you used to go to them every week to send off this or that, and you're a law-abiding, gun-toting citizen. I bet you if you stop sending that ground transportation and if you stop sending that international package, they're going to miss that revenue, and then they're going to start to think twice. They ain't going to have no choice but to apologize to us because we're not the ones that committing the crimes. We're not the ones that out here doing this. So apologize, and until you do, we ain't fucking with you. Period. Okay? So I want you guys to know, like, I'm on your side. I really am. Listen, let me tell you, I've been on record saying, listen, I don't give a damn what happens. I believe in 2A rights. I believe that you should have the right to defend yourself. This is a human right. This ain't a 2A right. Constitution called me 3/5 of a human, so I ain't talking about that piece of paper. I'm talking about it's your God-given right to protect you and yours. And you should be allowed to go home every day, especially if you're not harming no one else. But if someone comes at your doorstep with violence and harm, you need to meet them where they at. That's all I'm going to say, okay? So let me tell you guys, I love y'all to death. I really, really do. And I just want to be that voice of reason. I want to be that voice to tell you it's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to have different viewpoints and thoughts on certain subjects. And I'm always respectful. But, okay, so as we end, right, as I round this off, let me tell you what happened, right, when I got pulled over with my gun on me. So I'm in a state. It's so hilarious. It's actually very, very funny because it was like a full circle moment for me. I got pulled over for having my fucking windshield was busted. Like I had a crack in my windshield, right? And I got a crack in my windshield because I went and washed my car, and the car wash place did it, right? So I'm looking, and this is funny, right? Because the day they did it, I remember looking at my rearview mirror, and they were staring at me, hoping I just drove off. And I'm like, how the fuck y'all just gonna crack my windshield and ain't say nothing? You gonna tell me like I ain't gonna notice? Like I notice this bitch every day. I literally look at my windshield every fucking day, and the front windshield, like this big ass glass every day. And you think I'm not gonna notice you crack my shit? So my dad was like, I called my dad because he's my hero, and he was like, call the police. And I remember I had multiple guns on me that day. I remember that day. I will not forget it. Like, yep, whoop, whoop. I had multiple guns on me that day. And I was like, you know what? I don't want no interaction with the cops, right? So I ate that shit. I was like, you know what? Fuck them. They gonna get bad karma. They gonna go out of business because you don't play with me like that. Don't do me like that. But I'm not gonna call the police on this. I never want an encounter with the cops. I don't give a damn what the reason is for, right? So full circle moment, I get pulled over for the windshield. And I'm like, you goddamn kidding me, right? So I'm minding my business. I saw them. I ain't even think nothing of it. I'm eating my hummus and chips in the car, right? So when it was two officers, right? So they tell me to pull over. I pull over. One was a black woman cop, right? So she was on the driver's side. She was the one driving. So I'm watching her out my driver's side mirror. And when she walks up, right hand, left hand guy. I started laughing because she got on shorts, and I didn't take her seriously. I ain't even trying to be funny, like, because I ain't trying to be rude or disrespect cops, but I was in 124-degree weather in Iraq with full flak and careful. Like, are you hot? Is this your uniform? Is Atlanta PD wearing shorts now? Like, I don't have time for that. So I was laughing. I was like, you know what? She got on shorts. Let me just see what's going on, right? So she points to my passenger side window, and I look, and it's a white cop on my passenger side. So I let my window up on my driver's side. And I'm telling you all of these details for a reason, right? So I let my driver's side window up because I'm not addressing the other cop anymore. I don't have to. I have to address the other cop. She relinquished control over to him. So I talked to him. He was like, your window is, what do you say? There's a crack in your windshield. And I was like, oh, that's illegal? He was like, yeah. That's literally how he answered me. And I'm looking at him. I'm still eating my chips and hummus because, like, I remember thinking, I'm like, do you feel like the streets are safer? Do you feel like you're doing a damn good job right now? Do you feel like is this? I bet there's a murder happening right goddamn now, right now as we speak. So I'm still eating my chips. I'm not saying nothing. So he asked me for my driver's license. I give it to him. We get to talking or whatever. And I do not tell him I have my firearm on me. It's on my chest where I normally carry. I don't give him my concealed weapons permit. I don't do that. I give him my driver's license. He tells me what I was pulled over for. He takes it. He writes my ticket. Okay. And I don't disclose any information. I'm not in a state, duty to inform state. I'm not in that state. So I don't have to do that. I am also not in a state where I have to sell them. We're in a constitutional carry state, so I don't have to have a permit either, but I do advise that for people, right? So I say all this to say, the first thing that I want to tell you guys about is that I was not rude, but I was not weak either. Do you understand what I'm saying? I see a lot of people that are terrified of the police. They're terrified when they pull over. They think they're going to die. And listen, being a black woman, shit could go either way. I'm always prepared for whatever, but what I'm saying is like, you don't have to be afraid, and you don't have to be rude, overly rude either. So what me putting up my window on my driver's side, I know a lot of people will probably be scared to do that. Me, I felt unsafe. And if you're ever in an unsafe situation, you have to do what you need to do in order to get your bearings, right? I don't want anyone, I don't give a damn who it is, not a cop, not a passenger, not a nobody, with full access to me on my blind side. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in order to prevent that, I'm going to let this window up and limit access on this side, because now I'm addressing the officer on my passenger side. I didn't feel a need to keep my hands 10 and 2. I kept eating my chips and my hummus. I answered him. He told me turn the car off. I turned the car off. I didn't respond. I didn't have a lot of conversation with them either. I was not overly friendly, but I was not rude either. He asked me a question. I answered and I shut the fuck up. It is very clear what you need to do with them. Don't think they're your friend. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So I was very aware of that. Okay, he asked me for my driver's license. I gave him everything that he asked me for. He went back, he wrote me my ticket. He didn't ask me if I had a gun on me. If he did, I would have informed him I did and would have asked him how he wanted me to proceed. But other than that, I didn't feel a need to tell him that, because that's not what the fuck he pulled me over for. Do you understand me? Stick to the facts and stick to the situation, okay? Anything added, extra, you trying to be friendly. You trying to tell him how your day went. You trying to tell him what you did earlier. You trying to have a conversation. You trying to tell him about your kid. All that shit don't matter. None of that matters. What matters is you getting the fuck out their presence immediately, okay? So I'm trying to tell you that's what I did. That's what happened, and I live to tell the tale. So this is a teaching moment, and I want to share that with you. Everything went smoothly. Sis got back in her car. Bruh got back in his car, and everybody got the hell on. Do you understand me? And I left with my gun on me. So that's what happened, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And with that, guys, oh my goodness, a whole hour done passed. Look at that. I love you guys so much. And so with that, I'm going to leave you with Tangie's thoughts, okay? Listen, be kind to those who are kind to you. Be loyal to those who are loyal to you. And know that I want the best for you. Whatever you think is best for you, Tangie wants that for you, okay? I know for a fact that it is not conceited to brag about your capabilities. I promise you I know that. So with that being said, my name is Tanjanika. I'm an international best-selling author. I'm a public speaker, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran who did 2 tours in Iraq. And I may not be nothing to you, but I'm the shit where I'm from, okay? And with that, I'm going to leave you with Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I love you guys so much, and I'm out.